You're going to see some very good menus from these two runners. And we're going to see them straight out the gate. So here we go. So you're going to see a little bit of config menuing, and these guys are going to start with buying a hammer. And that's not very exciting, right? Not that great. I've talked up this equipment glitch. No. You see, the hammer isn't really a hammer, because we're going to use the equipment glitch to turn it into a knight's armor, which is a very expensive piece of equipment at this point. You know, it's not like amazing, but it's better than anything we should have. And how we're going to do that is basically, I'm always rubbish at explaining this. I always give myself a disclaimer. It's just magic, really. Okay, so the game has ID numbers for its armor slots and its weapon slots. So say we buy a hammer and we use that hammer, and that is ID number 1. Then if we go into another menu at the same time by pressing 2 buttons at once, essentially, we can confuse the game into thinking that that hammer is actually a knight's armor. From that, we can put it on any of the armor slots. With some very overpowered equipment, yeah, that's gonna break the game very quickly. Please ignore Squig in chat. He basically blackmailed me into inviting him. Yeah, second equipment menu. We've made our way to the Chaos Shrine, and we pick ourselves up a leather hat. And from that, we're going to make the Judgment Staff. The Judgment Staff, one of the most powerful staffs in the game. And if we use it as an item, we can use it to cast Flare, which is one of the most powerful spells in the game. So as you can see, we've already broken the game. For here, we're just going to use it to punch Garland a couple of times. Garland being... he's technically the final boss. Don't think about it too much. But we are rescuing Princess Sarah from her fiery grave in the Chaos Shrine, or something. Who knows? He probably had nefarious intentions. Don't think about it too much. And yeah, I almost didn't notice, but that is a godlike chaos time for Yoshi there. They have managed to make it to chaos and kill him in less than 2 minutes 30, which is kind of mental. But this is FF1, and therefore everything can turn around on every single split. It's always nice to get a good start in this game, though. I mean, on the next split, he could run into about 20 packs of wolves and lose 5 minutes, but let's enjoy it while it's good. Little break for the runners here, as Yoshi watches some builders create a bridge in about 30 seconds, or no, it's more like 15 seconds. Those are some fast builders. Well, here begins the commentator curse. Yoshi has already run into some wolves there. Let's see if we can get any more wolves. Nope, big horses. They're also pretty hard to run from, to be fair. Yep, that's plenty of horses that Yoshi is getting there. Quite impressive. So, they've finally made it to Provoker. Gonna do a little bit of shopping here. Because Provoker has something that Cornelia didn't, and that is ethers. We're not going to be using the ethers for quite a long time into the game. However, we will need them later in the game to be able to kill things, because we all like killing things. So, right. Another boss battle. Yes, believe it or not, this is a boss battle. We are going to steal the pirate ship, and for that we need to massacre some pirates. So we've just used the Judgment Staff for the first time. I think I mentioned that when used as an item, the Judgment Staff casts the Flare spell. It's incredibly powerful, but not very fast. So we will be getting rid of that as soon as we can. But not on Crrool's side. Crrool will be using that Judgment Staff for the rest of the game, because Crrool uses a slightly different route here. Yoshi with that early shark encounter. Excellent. It's always a good challenge to FF1 to go, you know, you're much less likely to get encounters on the sea tiles. However, that doesn't mean anything to FF1, which will attempt to give you as many as it possibly can, about, 2 tiles out of the harbour gate. And those 2 encounters give Crrool a bit of a chance to catch up there. Yeah, sea encounters, don't get many of them, but they're usually pretty hard to flee from at this point in the game, so you really don't want to see too many of those. So both runners here making their way over to the west side of the continent, where we will be heading into the first dungeon of the game. This is quite a big part for RNG. You can get very messed up by the encounters here. Wolves, pretty hard to run from. Oh, there you go. Perfect illustration on both streams there. Wolves are quite hard to run from at this point because we have no agility equipment. And there are a few others that can affect the party with paralysis. We saw the worst possible world on Crrool's stream yesterday, which was unfortunately what killed his run. If everyone in your party gets paralyzed, you are left entirely at the mercy of the monsters that paralyzed you. And you are left there, waiting to see if your characters can break out of the paralysis, again, purely by RNG. Toki, are you actually trying to get me to sing Early Shock? Because I will do it. So this is the Marsh Cave. Very low encounter rate here. It's not that uncommon to get all the way through the Marsh Cave without seeing, any encounters, 1 or 2 encounters. I say that, both runners already managed to get one. We're getting some nice encounter symmetry here. I'm starting to see the same encounters on both screens. I'm quite enjoying it. So why did we bother coming into the Marsh Cave? Well, there is one chest in here that we need to start off the Chain of Fetch quest. Unfortunately, there's a spike tile just in front of it, so we're going to have to take out some Pisca Demons. Again, this is a boss battle, but with the power of Flare, we can take them down very quickly. One of Yoshi's characters just got poisoned there. Poison, not too big a deal. At this point in the game, you don't want to be losing too much health because we don't have that much health. So, just going to take a quick Suna there. Suna? Wow, you can tell I've just been playing it for 14. Antidote. Antidote. So Yoshi again getting a slightly better exit than Crrool there. But both runners still pretty close. See who gets trolled more on the way up to Astos' castle. Also known as the Western Keep, which is a bit weird because it's kind of like in the north. But yeah, whatever. So Astos, we believe he's the king of the elves. He's not. He says, ha ha ha, this is not even my final form. And he turns into the evil dark king of the elves. So, of course, we kill him. We like killing people. That's what we do. So, our two heavier hitting characters, we're just going to hit him with the Judgment Staff because it's a little bit faster. And our two higher intelligence mages, we're going to use that flare for about 200 damage. And that's a nice high roll with White Mage. Always what you want to see. Make sure that it's just one round to kill him. Also, did you notice that the White Mage has an excellent name there? Which, of course, clearly means that she is, in fact, going to be the MVP of this run. Both runners actually managing to survive Astos there. He has an instant death attack, which can be a little bit of a pain, especially on Yoshi's route, because we need both mages to be, I believe, at level 8 here. Level 6? Level 5? I'm pretending I know anything about Yoshi's route. We need the mages to be at a decent level here so that we can buy some spells on the way back. And obviously, you don't get EXP if you're dead. Oh, that trolley encounter just before Elfheim there for Crrool. But Crrool is skipping Elfheim here. Doesn't need to go there just yet, because Crrool is not buying the Black Mage spells. I do love Crrool's party names. I imagine it might get a little confusing if he's trying to work out EXP a little bit later. I quite often use the battle notifications to tell whether or not I've leveled up my Black Mage and my White Mage, and he's definitely not going to be able to do that when he's just told, Bidoof leveled up, Bidoof leveled up. Yoshi is not having the best of time with sea encounters today. They're going to be a little annoyed by the unlikely ship encounters happening there. Luckily, pirates, not sharks, because nobody likes sharks. So yeah, we've taken the crystal eye that we got from that evil elf king that we murdered, and there's a witch in a cave who doesn't know that if she opens her eyes, she can see. So we have to give her crystal eye so that she can use that to see. And she will give us the Jolt Tonic. Got some decent HP on both sides here, actually. Both sides having some trouble running away from some wolves there. Oh, we cannot wait for those thieves' armlets. Yeah, the HP on both sides. We haven't got too many squishy black mages there. Leona's not too bad, and Bidoof on the other side, not too bad. I think I'm going to have far too much fun with the Bidoof names here. And that is not a nice encounter to run from, but we've managed it. Bidoof came through for the party there. Best boy, Bidoof. Yoshi, meanwhile, getting land sharks, also known as wolves. So yeah, we take the Jolt Tonic to the actual king of the elves. I mean, I assume he's now the king of the elves since we killed the king of the elves. So he's the prince of the elves. So surely he now becomes the king of the elves? The king is dead, long live the king. Who will give us a key so that we can get into his treasure room and nick all his stuff. How long does a run last? About an hour and a half. Good run is more like a 126. Bad run, more like a 134. Both are actually, perfectly, well, not acceptable, but normal times for a good runner if the game feels like being really mean to you. So this is the Thieves' Armlet menu. Again, we are doing some equipment glitching. We should not have this at this point, but we just picked up a mithril hammer. So we have just made ourselves some Thieves' Armlets. They give +5 agility on every slot that we can put it on. Luckily for us, we can put it on 3 different armor slots. Because, you thought that you could put an armlet on your arm, but you're wrong. You can also put it on your head. We cannot, however, put it on the shield slot. The shield slot requires an animation to be attached to the item that you put in the shield slot. Otherwise, when your character blocks, the game gets very confused and breaks and hard locks, and your run is over. So we don't want that. It's not worth it. Yeah, try it. 3 armlets, 2 arms. Then you just have to get creative about where you put the third one. I did not mean that to... No, yeah, right, okay, right. I'm not allowed to get R-rated. This is a PG-13 stream. Please bear that in mind, everybody. So now you will notice that Crrool will have no trouble running away from the Sahagins. I knew I shouldn't have said that as soon as I started that sentence. Okay, no, we did it. Bidoof came through. Bidoof came through. These guys are heading over to Mount Gullig. Not Mount Gullig. Mount Dwergar. I knew it was a mountain. Some kind of mountain. Where we are going to ask a certain pyromaniac dwarf for some help here. Mr. Waffle, you just blew my mind. Galaxy brain here. Put multiple armlets on one arm. Oh my god. To be fair, later we also wear 4 survival vests, and I'm not sure where you think you can put 4 vests, but I mean, I guess you could just layer them if you're really cold. So yeah, Pyromaniac Dwarf here is gonna blow up the canal so that we can finally get out of this little inlet that we're in and, you know, dodge all the rest of the fetch quests and stuff. Okay, there aren't any other fetch quests, but they probably would give us more fetch quests if they could. So Nerek goes off to prison, and meanwhile, we can head out and start the real quest, which is saving the world from 4 fiends who will go down in 2 hits of the Barbarian Sword. So yeah, I mentioned a Barbarian Sword. The menu that Yoshi's currently doing will get us the most powerful sword in the game. Luckily, we don't actually have to go through all the things that you are meant to have to do, because the Barbarian Sword is a reward for fighting the most difficult version of the most difficult super boss in the most difficult optional dungeon in this particular remake of the game. However, we just don't bother with that, we just glitch it. So I believe Yoshi is going to have 2 Barbarian Swords. Crrool is going to have them on his entire party. A little bit of a route difference here. Crrool likes hacking and slashing things. Yoshi prefers freezing and electrocuting them. So we're heading into the Cavern of Earth. At the bottom of the Cavern of Earth is Lich, the first of the 4 fiends that we need to kill. But before we can get to Lich, there's a couple of things we need to do. For starters, we need to not die. And I don't think I saw Yoshi's safety save there, which is a bit surprising. I could just be blind. That's always a possibility. But this is the first floor where there's a little bit of danger. There are some things called cockatrices. And the cockatrices can inflict us with petrification. Petrification, if you get it on your entire party, is game over. It basically affects you like KO, except for you get a nice little animation where your character turns to stone. And you need a different item to fix it, which is why I believe both of these runners went out of their way to get gold needles in Alfheim. I'm just assuming that. We may find out that they didn't. But we probably have to find that out the hard way. Ochre jellies! That's a nice rare encounter. So yeah, this is the first boss battle using the barbarian swords on Yoshi's side. Oh, look at that! Died in one hit. Get used to seeing that, because that's going to be the rest of the boss battles in the game. Meanwhile, on Crrool's side, Pisca Demons, as they're coded as a boss encounter, because we had to use them as a boss earlier, we can't run away from them. They're going to be really annoying in the next couple of dungeons, because we won't be able to flee, so we just have to use the Judgment Staff and take them down. On Yoshi's side, however, his Black Mage can use Thundara, so Yoshi will be using a slightly faster spell to get rid of the Pisca Demons. Yeah, I didn't mention that. I just saw that happening and pretended it wasn't happening because everyone can only deal with the trauma of bats so much. The bats are RNG, they wander around, and supposedly it's just coded by the game that they just kind of wander in random directions. But the rest of us runners know that they will get in your face as much as physically possible. Wraiths, another nice fun encounter that you get in the Cavern of Earth. These guys are runnable, as Yoshi's just proven. However, they can inflict paralysis and just generally be a pain, and they're quite hard to run up from. So you might see some fire spells going on here. Crrool just got away from some cockatrices without taking any damage there, which is nice. Both these runners not getting too bad a run here. Yoshi's slightly better than Crrool, a little bit ahead now. But Crrool will definitely be feeling better about this run than he did about yesterday's. Yeah, alternatively for Crrool, because all four of his characters have barbarian swords, he can just whack everything to death, so that's always an option too. But not a very fast option. And that's why he's heading back for the Judgment Stone. Yoshi quickly making their way out of the cave. Now, why are we making our way out of the cave when we haven't got to Lich yet, you ask? Kib, you said that we were going to fight the final fiend of Lich. The final fiend? First fiend. That's the one. We can't get to Lich because there's a random stone in the way, so we have to do another quick fetch quest to go get the Earth Rod to kill the stone so that we can get down to Lich. Unfortunately, we have to actually leave the entire Cavern of Earth to go do so. So, just a little bit of a detour here. So yeah, we grab the Earth Rod from the golem in disguise as this innocent old man. And we're going to head back. I'm about to see a little runner high five here. There we go. High five. It's a very annoying cutscene because you just stand there for like a good 5-10 seconds after the giant's already gone off screen. You sit there like, why can't I move? Why can't I move? Oh, nice undead ambush there for Yoshi. I don't think it's going to be a power lock because they're not doing a very good job at paralyzing his party, considering they got 5 attacks off there. But Yoshi is not taking any chances. Gonna blast him anyway. But gave Crrool a little bit of a chance to catch up there. Now, you may have noticed that Yoshi's warrior is in critical HP, but don't worry too much about that, because we are deliberately keeping the warrior and the thief at low health, because we are going to need to kill them off in a very short time. So don't worry about the warrior and the thief, because we don't care about them. We're just going to make sure that they die. Who is it we don't care about? We don't care about Poor Scythe and Toku. Yep, they're rubbish. Don't worry about them. And of course, the onus is rubbish because he's a black mage. But Kib sounds like a good character. Meanwhile, the Bidoofs are making some progress. I say that, and Crrool runs into an ambush 1 pearl away from the next floor. And Yoshi has finally made it back to where they were. And got a nice Pisca Demon encounter just for their troubles. So yeah, it takes that long to head out for the Earth Rod. Very annoying little fetch quest. But we would get to this rock and not be able to progress otherwise. So floor 4 has same dangerous encounters as floor 3. Nice bit of a maze here. You probably won't notice because both runners are just going to run through, but you could get a little bit lost on this floor. At least I tend to. Also bats everywhere. All the bats. Crrool with more Pisca Demons. Not something you want to see, especially on Crrool's route, because it takes a little bit of extra time. Meanwhile, Yoshi has made it to a suspicious little crystal. So, this is the Earth Crystal. It talks to you. That's not suspicious at all. Welcome to first, I want to say proper boss fight, but it still goes down in 2 hits, the Barbarian Sword. But the problem with Lich, that you will have seen the safety save there, is he has one very powerful AoE attack. We're not going to see. Excellent. Blizzara can take out your entire team, even if they're at full health. Because we're a little bit underleveled for this stage of the game. Actually, that's not true. Poor Scythe there would probably survive. But we don't want a warrior at full health, for reasons I've already talked about. So basically, we just do a safety save there, just in case Lich feels like being a little bit of a poo. Meanwhile, on Crrool's side, let's see if Lich can be kind to Crrool today. Actually, it wasn't Lich's fault yesterday. That's not fair at all. Don't blame Lich for the things that the ghouls did. Ah, of course. On Crrool's route, Lich is a little bit safer because all 4 of the characters have a turn at him with the Barbarian Sword. So both runners safely making it through Lich. Not the worst time in the world. It is possible to get a sub 30 Lich in a really, really good run. But neither of them have managed that one. Yoshi, on the other hand, making their way up to get back in the boat and head for new shores. So we are heading to Crescent Lake, where we're going to be buying some stuff and doing some more equipment glitching because we need a little bit more agility for where we're about to go. Problem with Crescent Lake, got a lot of encounters around it. Forest tiles, for anyone who doesn't know, have a higher chance of giving you encounters, and as you can see, there is not really any way of dodging the forest tiles to get around. And most of these encounters can give you poison. So it's not uncommon to traipse into Crescent Lake bleeding from various poisoned cuts and stings. So yeah, here we will be turning the Mithril Axe and the Mithril Gloves into Lust Daggers. Possibly. I think I mentioned about it this. We're going to be using the Black Garbs here, which are kind of the most important thing here, because that's going to give us plus 10 agility on each slot that we put in, which is excellent. We need that a lot. I'm going to have to do a little swap around there. One thing I didn't mention about the equipment glitch is you need to be adjacent to the character that has the initial equipment that you're glitching off. And that's why we had to do a little bit of a swap around there with Leonis. Crrool, on the other hand, can skip the majority of that menu. But Crrool is going to have to buy some ethers. So, as you see, we have got ourselves a canoe, which, of course, is the most efficient way to traverse the landscape. We could, I don't know, build a proper boat or learn to swim underwater, because that's definitely not something that we're going to be able to do in the next 10 minutes of the game. No, we just traipse around the canals here in a little canoe. But that means we can get to 2 new areas. To be fair, you wouldn't really want to swim in hydra-infested waters. There are also crocodiles and piranhas here. So yeah, no, canoe possibly better idea than swimming. I will give that to them. But yeah, we're heading to the ice cavern. The ice cavern, we're pretty underleveled for the ice cavern here. That's why Yoshi is safety saving as soon as they hit it. So yeah, we there's a lot of dangerous things. There's the classic Pisca demons that we can't run away from, which is a bit of a pain. And we're now having to use the Judgment Staff because we have taken the Sage's Staff off of the Black Mage. So Black Mage doesn't quite have the magic power anymore to kick the asses of the lovely Pisca demons, who have come back for seconds. So just losing a couple of seconds there compared to the Cavern of Earth. But yeah, there's some things here that can kill us, whether by ambush or by outspeeding us. There's some things here that can paralyze us. Of course, there are some things that can petrify us as well. Those Dark Wizards there, if they ambush you, they can cast Fire Augur on you, which hurts like hell. Oh, that is not what you want to see on Crrool's side. Okay, right. You know how I mentioned there's some things that can kill us? Yeah. Please tell me that Crrool saved. I wasn't watching, but I'm not sure he did. I don't think he did. Oh, that's a big error. Cavern of Ice is very dangerous. I think that is an unlucky encounter to get for the White Dragons. That's very unlucky. So here we have the double dragons. And there are actually two dragons. They are the double dragons, which is very rare. You usually only see one in the Ice Cavern. And they are taking another victim. I'm so sorry, Crrool. For people who don't know, Yoshi still needs to finish the race, still needs to record a win, so we will be continuing the race. So Yoshi's going to be trying to level up their Black Mage and their White Mage here. Because we need to get them to level 18. Well, technically we need to get them to level 19, but we can rely on a few unrunnable encounters to do that for us. That was a very high roll, Thundara. Basically, that's why we've been keeping the Warrior and the Thief at a low HP level there, because we wanted to get rid of them in one Thundara there. Why are we killing off the Warrior and the Thief? Because EXP in this game works so that it is shared between the number of living characters at the end of the fight. Therefore, say we have 400 HP XP. If 4 characters are alive, then they each get 100. If 2 characters are alive, then they each get 200. So we halve the time that we have to spend grinding by killing off the Warrior and the Thief there. If anyone wonders, by the way, how we are managing to get Evil Eye every time, that is a spike tile, so it's basically a boss, but it's a repeatable boss. So, because it's quite easy to kill when we've got the ridiculous weapons that we have, and it gives excellent EXP, that is why we're grinding here. This is one of the best grinding spots for this point in the game. We also grabbed the Levy Stone there, which luckily Yoshi did not forget, which I have done far too many times. We will be taking that out of the cave as soon as the mages hit 18, which they just did. Yeah, we're also reviving the thief here, because he needs a little bit of a bump of HP compared to the warrior. Yeah, that's a classic. Having to forgetting that you need to get something when you're on a spike tile, and then stepping off it and going, "Oh shit!" and then having to fight it again. Luckily, not too bad when you're in the PSP route and you can kill things with one hit anyway. So Yoshi's just making their way to the desert just below us. As we were mentioning yesterday, there's actually no clues in the game that tell us the next place that you need to go. Just wander around the map, just check out any suspicious-looking deserts that might have an airship in. Yeah, those things that you naturally do in games. that unlucky desert tile encounter, nice. And having the airship means that we have just unlocked some new areas. Technically, we could get to the place that we're about to go next, but it makes it a little bit faster getting the airship to head there. Problem with the airship is you need a clear patch of grass. So no marsh tiles, no forest tiles, no desert. So you need a clear patch of grass to land the airship. And as you've just noticed with Yoshi, those are kind of few and far between, like on purpose so that you have to find them to get to places. But we have to walk a long way across the map to get to the Citadel of Trials, which is actually our next destination. But we have to do, 5 encounters worth of walking on the way there and back, which is fabulous. We enjoy that. We love every single encounter that we get in this game. We appreciate everyone. So the Citadel of Trials, other than having a really high encounter rate, which, thanks game, thanks for using an example there. Other than having a really high encounter rate, also has, I need to stop saying that sentence, because apparently it just causes encounters. Has these teleporters, which is actually a maze. We know which way to go. It's always the bottom teleporter. You're welcome if you're playing this casually for some weird reason. There's a couple of slightly dangerous encounters here. There's some unrunnables, which are a bit of a pain. These guys can paralyze you. And then there are the Medusas, which can petrify you. And the Mind Flayers, which can paralyze you and kill you. And of course, these nightmares, which are borderline unrunnable, you can run from them, but it will take you a long time. So we just slash them up with the last dagger. Oh, I forgot these guys. Yeah, they're not that bad. They're just annoying and apparently difficult to run from. They're not usually, but then they feel like casting fire spells at you, and luckily it's not an AOE fire spell. It's just a one target. So I think that was a pretty speedy Citadel Trials. Not too bad. I've seen much worse. Then, of course, there's just one last spike tile on the way to the throne to get out. And this is one of the unrunnable encounters that gives us that last level up to level 19. And now the long walk back to the airship. I don't know why they didn't just like hire a driver for their airship who could just drop them off, and then they could just drop down on ropes or something. They're saving the world. Do you think that they'd be on a kind of time limit? Damn the driver. Is this some kind of meme? I don't know. It's always annoyed me in FF7 actually that you drop down a rope to get to the northern crater, the final dungeon, but you can't get to the cave that's got Knights of the Round because you can't land on the rocks. It's like, why don't you just drop down on a rope to get to the cave, and then you don't have to spend hours like getting chocobos to shag each other just so that you can get one chocobo to go to one place in the world. Why don't you just use a rope? You stupid people. Sorry, that's just a little bee in my bonnet that tends to annoy me. Anyway, meanwhile, we've just changed to our jobs there, which means that we get a little upgrade in power. We can use some more equipment for some of the classes, and we can now access some spells that we couldn't use before. You've got to think about these things, Squig. You really do. So that little desert caravan that we just took a flying visit to, we bought ourselves a random fairy in a bottle because it looked like a good keepsake. And then we also bought ourselves some Giant's tonics, which we're not going to need until the very last fight in this game. I will come back to them when we get there. So yeah, the fairy in the bottle, we get to this town and she breaks out and flies off, I suppose. And then she gives us some oxy ale so that we can breathe underwater. So it was worth randomly buying a fairy. So, welcome to Mount Gog, where I'm definitely not going off on another random tangent. Mount Gog is a volcano. As such, there's quite a lot of lava. However, you'd think we wanted to dodge the lava, and indeed that's what the game wants us to do. We're actually following the lava, because although you take damage when you step on it, you can't get encounters on the lava. So this is quite a difficult bit of gameplay, where you are trying to follow individual tiles while trying to go as fast as possible. So I don't think there's actually... I have no idea what the ideal route here is, but basically thinking as fast as you can on your feet, trying to follow the lava tiles. However, the problem here is that because we're following the lava tiles, we end up with like 1 HP on all our characters, and there are a couple of ambushes here that can one-shot your entire party. Ooh, fire elementals! That's a nice 1 in 64 encounter. And these guys actually also have an AoE elemental fire attack, I think. So, Yoshi doing the smart thing there and killing them. And now we've got the whole team up, because we have the second of the fiends. Marilith's not too difficult. She has actually got a fire AoE attack, which is why Yoshi just healed up to full. But she should go down in a couple of turns. Oh no, I'm sabotaging the runners. I'm so sorry. Okay, so actual information about the run. This cutscene that's currently on the screen is the unlocking of the optional dungeons. Every time you kill one of the fiends, you unlock a elementally related optional dungeon, which is probably where we actually should be getting half the equipment that we're already using. However, we just glitch it. It's fine. It's fine. So now that our mages are level 19 and that we've got the job upgrade, we can grab some spells. Most of these spells we're actually not going to be using until like the last couple of fights of the game. We have haste there that we are getting for our black mage, and we also got it for our ninja, because now that our ninja is a ninja, not a thief, he can use a couple of black mage spells as well. The question is whether or not we will have enough MP to use it by the end of the game, because we're still going to be very underleveled. We also grabbed Healara there, and Teleport, I think. I absolutely wasn't paying attention, but that's what we normally do, so I imagine that's what we did. This is nice unrunnable that just randomly hangs out in this bit of the world map. And yeah, the Ice Gigas has very high health, therefore even a high-powered firer with all of our intelligence gear on did not manage to kill it, but did kill the wolves, so that's great. Luckily, they're not too dangerous. They're just a bit of a pain because we can't run from them. Yes, I mean the winter land sharks. That's the one. Sorry. So now we are heading down to save the mermaids. Well, we think we're saving them. We're not really saving them, but we'll tell ourselves we're saving them. This is the Sunken Shrine. Again, lots of unrunnable encounters. Nothing too dangerous. Just a bit of a time waste if you see them. They tend to turn up every time I start trying to explain what they are, so I'm not going to say anything. Oh, okay. There you go. So, unrunnable encounter number 1. The ghosts. They are weak to fire. We are going to use a fire spell. I'm absolutely certain we're not going to get the other unrunnable ever at all. It's not going to turn up in this run. This floor, lovely floor, doesn't have any encounters, so you can just run around as much as you like. It's mostly because there's a lot of rooms with dialogue, and I think there's some chests and stuff. You can go and talk to some mermaids. We just run straight to the Rosetta Stone, which we will need for a fetch quest later. No, I'm telling you, we do not save the mermaids. We kill them all by ink poisoning. So, we're about to head for Kraken, but we're going to make a slight detour because we need some more agility gear. We're going to grab the light axe. We don't actually need the light axe. We're going to turn the light axe into some survival vest. And we're going to do one last kind of... Well, it's not the last menu, but it's kind of the big menu. Survival vest give every party member and every slot that you put it on plus 15 agility, I do believe. We've also now got lordly robes, which we're going to put on our mages. Because we need that sweet intelligence boost. I'm pretty sure ink poisoning is a real thing. I think. Google it. I can't. I'm commentating. Still no Sahagins. I'm impressed. Bonus ghost, though. I'll do. The one good thing about getting a million unrunnables in the shrine is, speak of the devil, is that you will get a bit more EXP, and of course, Leonis, the Black Mage, looking a little bit squishy there. Of course, every time you level up, there's an RNG chance that you are going to get a higher HP pool, like max HP. Oh, there you go. There's the Sahagins. These guys also are unrunnable, weak to thunder, so gonna blast them with the thunder spell. But yeah, Leonis could really do with a few levels, because when we get to Chaos, that max HP is gonna matter. Meanwhile, of course, Kib is looking beefy and beautiful, because of course she is. That's the point, actually. Also, the ninja is looking a bit shaky. Shouldn't matter too much for Yoshi here, as Yoshi only needs to finish. So, you know, even if they have to restart several times, it's alright. Just need to finish. Just need to finish and you're through to the finals. Thunder whilst underwater. Good thought, good thought. Maybe we're killing the mermaids in more ways than we thought. So, this is Fiend number 3, Kraken. Don't worry too much about him, he is calamari. So, next destination is the Waterfall Cavern, also known as the most annoying dungeon in the game. It's got a super high encounter rate. Like, every 4 or 5 steps, you're probably going to get an encounter. Like, that level of annoying encounter rate. And just to illustrate my point, nice ambush straight out the gate. It's not too bad. There's only one unrunnable, and nothing's really going to kill you. It's just annoying. It's just really annoying. Luckily, we have got 10 out of 10 music. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. Just another 20 encounters to go. So this one's a spike tile. Other versions of the game can be pretty terrifying because pyralisks are like cockatrices' big brothers. Cockatrices inflict petrification with one hit. Pyralisks inflict death, so you don't want to see 20 million pyralisks there. Luckily, we can just run away from them because our agility is off the charts. Yep, we've also just grabbed the warp cube from Mr. Robot, who has the best line in the game by saying "Buzz were." One other thing that we've just done is we got a ribbon from one of those boxes, and there's an interesting bit of equipment glitching here because we want the ribbon, but we want to make multiple of the ribbon, and as I mentioned, you can only duplicate things by taking a weapon to an armor or an armor to a weapon. So because we want to make multiple ribbons, which are supposedly an armor, you know, ribbons are armor, we have to make a Gigantax, which we don't actually need. But then we copy that back to make more ribbons. Ribbons halve elemental damage, and they also protect us from the majority of status effects. Possibly all status effects. One or the other. Ask Mr. GBA world record holder in chat. He knows things. And remember the Rosetta Stone that we grabbed underwater? We're now going to use it to learn a language. Why do we need to learn a language? Because we're going to go to the place that speaks the language. It's not Spanish. That would probably be more useful. Imagine if we could actually learn a language just by watching this game. It'd be fantastic. But the twist is that you only learn a fictional language. So you learn Lufenian, but you learn it fluently, but you can't do anything with it because it's a fictional language. So we're heading down to Lufenia, where we are going to need to ask the priestesses for something. However, problem with walking down to Lufenia, not only are we walking through forest, so we're getting a million encounters, we're also getting some unrunnable encounters. I don't think we've actually had any so far, which is pretty good. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen as soon as I said it. The Minotaur zombies, you can get them with trolls, you can get them with hill gigases, but anytime that you see them, you can't run away from them. But luckily, they're weak to fire. Ooh. Oh, yeah, successful dodge. As there's lots of NPCs in Lufenia, it's quite common for the little narrow corridors to get blocked by some little priestesses who just want to stand in your way. Yoshi got a perfect run through there, though. And we've grabbed the chime, because we couldn't have asked them for the chime without being able to speak Lufenian. I'm pretty sure if you just kind of like went in there and sort of said, there's this thing and there's this big tower, and you kind of just did hand actions for tower and pointed to the west, and sort of like, we need to get in there because we're the Warriors of Light, and then kind of just flash your crystals like Warriors of Light. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'd have got it. You know exactly how to do hand motions for tower. See? I'm sure that we had all managed to somehow request a chime through the art of interpretive dance. Anyway, we managed to get the chime, and the chime unlocks the Mirage Tower, which is in the middle of a random desert. I get the feeling chat's kind of bullying me here. Just a little bit. Mirage Tower, again, really high encounter. Lots of, not dangerous, but really... Oh, speak of the devil. This is the one unrunnable encounter in here that Yoshi accidentally ran from. This is the one in 64, though. You don't normally get these guys. Yeah, I've heard it just now, called Kib Dragon. I've never heard it called Kib Dragon before, but now it can be called the Kib Dragon. I'm okay with that. I got 4 of them in a row one time. Yes, that is a 1 in 64% chance, not percent, but yeah, chance encounter to get, and I got 4 of them in a row. It was a bit weird. How many 1 in 64 encounters has Yoshi already had just this run? They're really good at getting 1 in 64s. Okay, that one's not a 1 in 64. That's a spike tile. That one is always a blue dragon there. Doesn't count. Does not count. Yep, can confirm it. These are all 1 in Nintendo 64 encounters. So yeah, the Blue Dragon's pretty hype. You know, like we really enjoyed the fire elementals earlier, but it's not as hype as the 1 in 64 encounter on floor 5 of the Flying Fortress here. Say it with me, guys. What are we gonna find on floor 5 of the Flying Fortress? Warmech! Warmech! Warmech's pretty hype. If anyone did not pick that up, we need to find something to get hype about in this run, basically. Warmech blesses the run of particularly special runners. I'm a special runner. I got blessed in a particularly violent way not very long ago. We'll see if Yoshi is a special runner today. And yeah, that's safety savers, because if Warmech ambushes you, he has got a hell of an AoE attack. Very, very hurts. Yes, I just said very hurts, okay? English is hard. I used to be good at English, and then I got nuked by Warmech. Yeah, Tiamat, actual boss of this level, of course, always takes a second to Warmech. Tiamat actually hates Warmech. They're like worst enemies. Because she's like, oh, I'm the big bad dragon, and I'm the final fiend, and you came all the way up this tower to kill me. And then Warmech just kind of sidles out the shadows and goes, hey boy, hey. And just steals War Thunder. So, yeah, they're mortal enemies. I did not know that. D&D lore, Tiamat is the evil opposite of Bahamut, who is, of course, the best Councillor Dragon extraordinaire. What about Warmech? Is Warmech like their estranged lover in D&D lore? Had them both, and then waltzed off into the sunset. Warmech's not in D&D? What? What is this D&D poo? Doesn't have Warmechs in it, no good. Okay, so we're heading into the Chaos Shrine. You may remember this from the beginning, but now that we've got all 4 crystals, we can get teleported by the big evil black crystal back in time 1,000 years to the proper Chaos Shrine, which now has white dragons, as is infinitely more dangerous. There's a bunch of unrunnable encounters here. I will not try and name them all. I will just tell you about them as they turn up. This is the good thing about having one runner forfeit. I can actually cover everything that's going on screen. No white dragons on that floor for Yoshi. That's another very lucky Chaos Shrine start. Green dragons. These guys are unrunnable. They are like poisonous, kind of poison element. I don't think that's an element, but yeah. They do poison gas and stuff. But yeah, they're weak to ice. These guys, not usually a problem, except for when they decide to ambush you, because they're tired of being upstaged by Green Dragon. Death Eye is a spike tile. It's like the Evil Eye's big brother. I don't know. I don't actually know what it does. It never gets to do anything because we kill it in one hit. Poor little Death Eye. Never got to know life. Hi, I'm the Death Eye, and I'd like to welcome you to the Chaos Shrine. Sliced by Barbarian Sword. Dragon zombies! These guys are weak to fire. I was about to say, these guys are weak to fire, and then I thought I saw Yoshi lining up a Thundara spell. How do eyes talk? Oh, clearly you've never heard that eyes are the window to the soul. We could say a million words with our mouths, and it would never compare to the meaning in one look from your true love. Or your Death Eye. This is another White Dragon's floor. I'm always more scared of this one than the first one. Yeah, there you go. There's your White Dragons. Okay, these guys are runnable. However, they're very fast, very difficult to run from. Thanks, Yoshi, for running from them as soon as I said that. They've got an AoE ice spell. They've ended a lot of runs. In fact, I don't need to tell you that, because that's just what happened on Crrool stream. Unfortunately, you're not normally meant to get them in the Cavern of Ice. Imagine if FF1 sprites actually had like a frostbite animation. And, you know, actually, you can't even see any of their hands. I was going to say, their hands are like just necrotic and rotting off. That would be a bit more twisted. Earth Elementals! These guys got pretty high HP as well, but we can whack them with some fire. And because we got such a powerful Black Mage with all his intelligence gear on, he can just use a fire spell, which is a little bit faster. So, what are we healing up for? You always know there's a nice boss battle coming up if we heal up and safety save. Well, funny that since we went back in time 1,000 years, all the fiends we killed are back. And they're actually stronger because they're younger and they have youth in their bones. Particularly Lich, who has lots of bones. Oh, wow. Yep, we are going to lose that Black Mage. So, Flare is like his Blizzara, but worse. Usually, your Warrior and your White Mage are going to survive it. Usually, your Thief isn't. But yeah, it can be pretty nasty, and if you get outspeeded on the second turn, oof, can hurt. That's why we do a safety save there. If we're feeling safe. Safety saves for safe. I know, right? Lich looks so good for his age. I heard he uses Nivea for men. Not sponsored by Nivea. We just got an accidental split for Yoshi there. Yoshi has finished, apparently. Nah, we still going. We still got another 5 minutes or so. Wow, all the AoEs from everybody today. Leonis is not getting any more levels. Now, this floor is a little bit annoying. It's got one unrunnable, but it's a very common unrunnable. And that is the water elementals, who aren't going to turn up for me. like that Yoshi hasn't even bothered reviving his Black Mage. That might be a problem now, actually. Oh, that is a beautiful dead Black Mage emote. Love it. Yeah, Yoshi now gonna revive the Black Mage. Remembers, oh yeah, that's my chief damage dealer. Oh. But that is quite a squishy Black Mage. That's gonna be a bit of a problem. Some of Chaos's spells do over 200 damage. Chaos being the final boss, anyone who doesn't know. And therefore, ideally, it's nice to have your Black Mage above that. Yeah, Kraken again, still a pushover. Don't worry too much about him. And the last of the Fiend refights, once we've got past the Vampire Lord encounter, is Tiamat, who is almost definitely gonna murder that Black Mage. Ooh, look at Leonis! He's got 200 HP now, like I said. Perfect. So this is the first use of the Haste spell that we're gonna have. Haste increases the number of attacks that somebody can do in one turn. So I think it doubles it. At least increases it quite a lot. Yeah, so the Thief, who already does quite a lot of attacks in one turn, now is doing 14, which does a massive amount of damage, as you can see. That is why we've got the Thief, as he ends up being our main damage dealer at this point in the game. And with that, we are onto the final boss. There's no encounters on this floor, so we can just prep. We can do one last equipment glitch. Gonna get Barbarian Sword on the Black Mage. So we can do a little bit more damage. Having a bit of trouble with the Barbarian Sword here. And we're putting Sage's Staff on the White Mage so that we can have a little bit more power from her healing spells, because yes, here we are actually going to need to heal during the fight, because Chaos is a bit stronger than anything else that we have encountered so far. So the first thing that you're going to see Yoshi do, probably, is use one of those Giant's Tonics that I mentioned earlier. Giant's Tonics give you 200 extra max HP, and that's going to be absolutely essential. Keep that Black Mage alive. Pretty sure, yeah, the ninja's kind of borderline. I'm not sure whether they'll bother putting it on the ninja there. Yep, gonna be safe. Nothing to lose from being safe. So the White Mage here will be healing every single turn, because we don't know what Chaos is going to do at the beginning of the turn. So we have taken off all her agility gear to make sure that she always goes at the end of the turn to heal up any damage that Chaos may have done. So essentially, we've just got a heal bot on our hands at this point. And although that physical attack on the ninja hurt, he survived it, and therefore we've got a fight on our hands. So Chaos starting with one of his non-elemental attacks. So he's got 2 cycles of magic attacks that he can do. He's either got the very long casting, heavy damaging non-elemental attacks, or he's got a slightly less painful cycle that eventually leads up to him casting Curaja and healing all his HP. But I don't think we're going to see that today, because he'd have to get started pretty quickly. In fact, this is a perfect chaos fight, because what you want to see is all these physical attacks, which are much faster. And everyone is fully buffed up with haste now. So we've got our 3 barbarian sword users going for it. And it shouldn't be long now. Basically, that first turn is the dangerous point with chaos fights. After that, all our preparations should lead us to an easy win. There we go! That is Yoshi's 3rd win in the semi-finals of the Total Chaos Tournament, and since this is the best of 5, that means that he has made it through to the finals! Massive GG's to Yoshi, who only picked up this game a couple of weeks before the start of this tournament, and now is heading into the finals, which is insane. Unfortunately, it has been partly due to some terrible luck for Crrool, who is, of course, last year's winner of the tournament and just generally an amazing runner. But this is FF1 PSP. It is, 20% skill, 80% gambling, and that is the reasons that we hate it and love it at the same time. Always makes for an exciting race to watch, though. So I believe Yoshi is gonna head in for interview in a minute, so we just gotta wait for a short break. I just wanna, I'll give a shout out right now to Speed Gaming, who have been amazing and hosted us for all the many races of this tournament so far, and will be hosting us for the final whenever that is, probably in a week or so. Don't believe we know who Yoshi's opponent is just yet. I think that still has to be decided. We have Green Cleric versus Stony Wrath, who I think still have a good 3 races to do. Let me just find out when those races are going to be for you guys, just in case you are curious to watch those as well. I think it's here somewhere. 1 minute. Yeah, our next race is tomorrow. These guys are North American, and therefore they're going to be at more North American times tomorrow at 9 p.m. EDT. So that is 2 a.m. for those of us of the United Kingdom persuasion, and 3 a.m. for our European friends. And that's going to be a good race, because those guys are both great runners.
hello.
Hello there!
I finally made it.
You did it! It's amazing!
This isn't how I was hoping to win, but like, at this point a win's a win, I'll take it.
I know Yoshi was like super nervous about this entire thing, and now you're in the finals!
I don't know how. I've lost 3 matches this tournament so far.
You've done a great job. Don't beat yourself up. Like this is amazing. You just got through 3-0. That's great.
I don't know how. I saw some of what happened with Crrool, and like, yeah, that's
Yeah, Crrool was trying to, as he put it, made a calculated risk. Didn't save when he went into the Cavern of Ice and took a few steps and got hit by white dragons. So unfortunately, that risk did not pay off for him, but it paid off for you.
Yeah, I think that's probably the 3rd or 4th match just since the bracket started that I've won, less because my play was especially good. Like, I feel like my run here was kind of average.
Yeah, it was alright.
Worse in the second half. I was a little sloppy in parts, but by that point I knew I could be.
Yeah. I mean, I think for this run, we tend to beat ourselves up over little tiny mistakes, but yeah, I mean, I didn't see very much. I think there was a bit of a barbarian sword mess up. There
were some bad equips. There was also the point where I don't have splits for Marilith, Kraken, and Tiamat 2.
Yep.
And so I split at the end of Marilith, and I'm always so close to doing it, and I'm like, no wait, I have to do this. I have to like hold back, and today I just didn't hold back and like split, immediately undid it. Was laughing too much. I knew I was going to do it eventually, and because of that, I forgot to revive my Black Mage, so I had to do
Oh, right, yeah, of course. Oh, I thought that was calculated. I thought that was a choice.
No.
You'll just die on the next fight anyway, stupidly owners.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sorry in advance for some stuff that happened during commentary. I require a co-commentator. It's just necessary at this point.
I could see chat, and like there were so many points where I was like, I have no idea what's happening, and then there was like that one comment, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this, like without a doubt.
Yeah, I did my best. But yeah, do you have any guesses about Sornirath versus Cleric?
Not a clue. I want to face Sornirath for the story. We commentated each other's first races in this tournament, so This is, for both of us, this is the first tournament we've entered. Sorny learned the run just after the tournament last year, and I learned it in June. And yeah, we commentated each other's first races. We're the last 2 newcomers in the tournament, and so it's just like,
yeah,
it's kind of built up.
Yeah, and you two can follow the bromance, you know.
I was going to put Sony as one of the characters today, but I had 5 people I wanted to put in, and I've only got 4 characters, and I couldn't have it so that Sony won me a match that then put me up against Sony potentially. So I was like, well,
Sony's the enemy now. If you get into the right mindset, everyone else is the enemy. They're standing in the way of you and the tournament final.
It's fine. He can just be the warrior, and I can like intentionally kill him. It's great.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, and Green Cleric also great runner. He's doing great. He was in my bracket, and I'm behind him as well. So yeah, whoever gets through, it's going to be an amazing race.
At this point, I feel like I'm going to be nervous no matter who I'm up against. I feel like that was always the case since I hit top 16.
Also, just races make you nervous. That's always going to be a thing.
But I've realized over the course of, so I play OT randomizer as well, and like there's been this tournament and one of those going on at the same time, and over the course of like the last month or 2, I've realized that I get nervous about everything competitive.
Yep.
But then it just doesn't actually change what I do. I just react really well under pressure, so I'll be nervous, but whatever.
that's the difference between, you know, like someone like a good runner and a bad runner. Like, it's what you do while you're nervous, because everyone's going to get nervous, but it's managing to pull out a good race despite that, and you've definitely managed that.
I'm just like buzzing right now. I cannot believe this.
This is the sound of disbelief, people.
The worst part is, though, I said when I entered the tournament, I was like, I'm just hoping to not embarrass myself, and and now people are going to have expectations of me next year.
Oh, I know that feel. So yeah, any shout outs you want to give or anything?
Mostly the people that I named in the party. I'm pretty sure I've spoken about it every time I've come in for an interview, been on commentary, all of that. But like, this is a really welcoming community, and like I say, I learned the game in June. I made Leonis the Black Mage specifically because Black Mage route, Leonis had to be the MVP because he was the one who dragged me into the community to begin with. But like, yeah, it's just like been super welcoming and super friendly, and so I thought I would put the names in there as like a nice shout out there before I go into the matches where I'm going to be too nervous to do things like that.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you so far, and future tournament winner, maybe. Possibly.
Hopefully, I'll do what I can. I don't expect much, but I'll do what I can.
I guess we just gotta, you know, thanks everybody for restreaming. Thank you, Etienne, for the volunteering, and Speed Gaming for being awesome as usual. Thanks, chat, for bullying me the entire way through. Thanks, guys. And congrats, Yoshi, for another great run and getting through.
Yeah, cheers. I'll try and commentate one of the upcoming races so that I can get like a sneak peek at who I'm up against.
Yeah, do the last one, and then you can pretend that you don't care and be like, no, I was happy for both of you. Yeah. Alrighty then, I guess that's us out. So everybody, the first race between Green Cleric and Sawney Raff is tomorrow at 9 PM EDT. So definitely tune in for that, because those guys are going to be great, and hopefully we will have a good race on our hands. So I think that's everything from me. Anything from you?
No, that's it from me.
That's cool. All right then, everybody. Thanks for watching, and good night.